Here we're going to talk with Greg on the start of the Praetorian and what goes into the building process of knives.
Well, the original drawing is sitting in my office in one of the drawers. I can walk in and put my hand on it in 2 seconds. The original knife is sitting on my windowsill, and I was offered $80,000 for that knife. And if you pick it up today, I freehand whittled that thing away on my Bridgeport mill. I just totally by hand made that knife out. What happened was I made the TFF1. Guys were like, $550, you're a nobody. Blah, blah, blah. Now, I made the TF1. I made 10 of them to start. They were all sold the day I made them. I mean, they were sold before I made them. Finished, as they were getting machined, the dudes were going, guys coming through the machine shop were coming over to my shop going, hey, I saw these things being milled, these handles being milled over RPM, machine. Because in those days I didn't have a mill. It was my first crack at it. And they were like, we want a couple of those. I'm like, oh, sure, they're $550. And we're like, done. All right. So I did the first 10, and I go, well, I better make 20 of these. They were all sold. I better make 50 of them. They were all sold. And at that point, I was one guy by myself cranking away and doing everything. But I went to my first show, and it was the Pasadena show out in Southern California. And these Southern California guys fucking ridiculed me for what I was charging for the knives and were just nose up in the air about it. And I came back and I said, man, I'm going to make the fuck you knife of all time. And that's what I did. It was my fuck you knife. And I was going to call it the fuck you knife. So I drew the Praetorian up in, I'm not kidding, 3 minutes. And I said, I'm going to make a knife so cool that anybody, when I tell them whatever the price is, everyone's going to go, I get it. That's fucking cool. And that was it. It was the fuck you knife. So it was my shut up and it's $1,200. Bite me. It was kind of like I was so sick of, because I saw so many knives at $475 that had play and lash and weren't that great. And I was like, oh, only $550. And if I'm only one guy, I didn't know I was going to turn it into a company. I'm only one guy, so $550. And if people think it's too much, they don't have to buy it. And other people, at least I'm well-funded. I could always drop the price. But in the meantime, I can only make so many of them, and now I can make a living. That was it. It was just, can I make a living? How many can I make a month? I can make 50 a month. Okay, boom, here's the price. So what was going on with me was, don't mess with me on the price, because I'm going to make something so cool that no one will ever say this to me again. So consequently, as we've grown over time and become a little bit slightly more known, at least within the little knife world, I don't get too much grief about the pricing. I get grief probably like on the Cold Steel forum, where all the guys are talking about the greatest knife in the world is $39. Those guys all think anybody who spends $300 or $400 or $500 knife's crazy. They just don't know yet. So those guys, I love them. I've got no knock on them. Everybody who buys a $39 knife and absolutely loves it, at some point will hopefully have some success where they'll be able to contemplate their purchasing power starting to jive with their morality. And then I want to be there for them. The only thing that we don't do in-house is coatings. So we do double disking, which is kind of an art in and of itself. Okay, there's only one grind house in Arizona that does double disking, and then there is us. So it is a specialty. People say, oh, that's just a grind house. No, it's not. To do production, parallel flat titanium grinding on a double disc machine, it is a specialty. We do that in-house. We also do precision surface grinding in-house. Blanking through water jet, it is a specialty in and of itself. Precision machining, Swiss turning, knife grinding by hand. I mean, as you can see, I have a whole team of guys who do that. Heat treating. We do custom heat treating, tailored for all of our boutique steels. And assembly, knife making and assembly. And sheet making and fittings. That's not nothing. That's real. I mean, we have 9 in-house specialties. It's maddening. And then you know what my specialty is? I get to draw pictures, which maybe are cool, and I get to pick talent. My specialty now is I'm the human component, vision, Can I get people on board with the vision? And then can I earn enough money to help them succeed in their life, to build a future for where they decide they want to stay and have a career in knife making in 2018? You know, you want to do an 1850s job in 2018? So I've got to find some way to make it sexy, techy, compensation enough, can they have a middle class lifestyle? Can the guys have a boat, a Harley Davidson, and a house, and a wife who maybe works at a veterinary clinic, and have a happy life? And do something they're proud of when they run into some doctor or some schmo who's got some badass job and he's driving a Porsche. My guy's driving a 1967 Ford F-150. He's got rough hands. His wife thinks he's a man. And he says, we make knives. And the doctor goes, boop, you know, and the stock guy goes, boop. So they've got all this money, but they're like, wait a minute. You know, not really. I love these guys, all right? But I mean, you know, America's gone that way. But there is a group of dudes who don't want anything to do with that. They don't want manicured nails. They want to drag their knuckles, punch a guy in the face for getting out of line, drink a couple beers with their buddy after work. They want to make some cool shit with their hands, see them pop up in a movie, and they want to go fishing, drive a speedboat, and have a motorcycle so the old lady can't rag on them when they go driving on them. There's a group of guys who are like that, and I love those guys. They're the kind of guys that maybe went in the Marine Corps or maybe should have gone in the Marine Corps. You know, they're kind of old-fashioned guys where there isn't necessarily the perfect place for them anymore in America, where you have to be really good on a computer and really good in front of a computer screen. You get to look in the mirror when the economy crashes. You know, I'm old enough that I've seen it a couple times now. You go through this. Is this as good as it gets? Is what I do valuable? Do I make a difference in the world? And you know, if you do medical processing, medical billing, you get to wonder if you like really make a difference in the world, if you're honest. And that's got to be done. So I'm not making fun of that. But some people, I did 127 all, you know, today, and I made my bonus. Some people, that's not gratifying. Some people want to see real things that will go out into the world, go on adventures. And some people like building homes. You know, there still is a place in the world for the making and crafting stuff. So being part of the creation process, you know, a lot of people belittle it because it's not white collar. But the creation process, you know, you sit me down with some doctors and some lawyers and some white collars, and you start. I'll dive into the creation process with them and go, you know, what's neat about what we do is it is the creative process of creation. You sat with me doing that today, right? How fun is that?
That's awesome.
It's fucking super cool. And the creation process is one of the great gifts of human existence. You know, one of the most rewarding things is having children, or building a home, or building a log cabin up in the woods. I mean, if you ever built a log cabin with your hands, it would be on your highlight reel as you're laying in your deathbed. All that work you did for dragging those logs over and getting the axe out and having your buddies come over and give them some beer to help you lift the logs up, that would all impact your soul. Because the creation act, you know, the allegory from Genesis, that story, it's the human interaction with the world. We change the world and make it a better place. So, you know, the guys that I have like doing that kind of thing. You know, I like working on airplanes, and I like restoring cars. And you know, my number one thing that I like doing, I mean, I really used to do that stuff a lot in the past. I don't do it as much anymore. I like working on the airplane, sitting in the back when my dad comes in to get some time with my dad. So really, you know, look, guys like doing all sorts of hobbies, and I'm cool with all that. No judgment on them. I did all of that when I was younger. I kind of put away a lot of this self-aggrandizing adventure of my life. The thing I love the most, I love hanging out with my kids when I'm not here. You know, you came back to my home, flopped in the pool with me. We hung out, and you could see I like to relax because this is reasonably intense. It's nonstop. It's all day long. And, you know, we've got a guest here, so everyone knows to cut me a little bit of a wide berth and leave me alone. Normally, I'm taking care of problems. And you can see I'm in the middle of the machining all day long, like approving, looking at, making suggestions. Engineering and machining came up with a tool, and I walked out and I looked at the tool and I said, guys, I don't want to step on your toes, but next month when we run this again and someone's tired, the way you set this up is setting them up for scrapping a lot of parts. We need to move this 90 degrees so that it's easier to load it. And they kind of looked at me and everyone went, yep, you're right about it. I'm still doing, I'm still nurturing and steering and pushing and growing. And so what I like to do when I'm not here, I like to hang out with my kids and my wife. I don't like to do anything else. I like to cook. I like to have friends over. I like to break bread. I like to talk politics. I like to do that kind of thing.